Hey, this is Beth, the Muscle and Mascara Mom. Today we are celebrating Lucille Ball, one of the funniest women comedians of all time, one of my favorite shows to watch. Today, 65 years ago, today is when the I Love Lucy show premiered. So it's officially been named and observed as the National I Love Lucy Day. So I wanted to do a Lucille Ball inspired look for you today, which is very iconic with the red lips. Her eyes were always very, very natural. Of course, she had the wonderful hair. I've got the poof, but not necessarily the color. And we are going to show you how we get the Lucille Ball look today. First step is always priming. I'm using our Glorious Primer. I'm just gonna rub this all over my face. This is gonna help create a smooth surface, make sure that the foundation isn't sinking into lines. It can smooth over any blemishes, and also the color sticks very well. And yes, I'm gonna put it on my lips as well, especially because we are working them very, very specifically with the red today. I'm going to start with our Liquid Touch, cream concealer. And I'm gonna just use it on a blending bud here. And really gonna work the product through. I got a lot on. Carving up some blemishes. She also has a lot thinner face. So we're gonna work a little bit today on some contouring so I can try to achieve that smaller, skinny nose like she has. So pretty. So when you're doing the concealer, you wanna, press and blend. You don't wanna wipe off the product as you go. And you also wanna get up into that eye crease. I'm also gonna put a little bit on my eyes as well. She always goes with a really, really matte, natural look. So we're gonna try and do the same today. You have to remember that in 1950, they were doing things a lot differently. They did a lot of sort of cake makeup, if you will, pancake makeup. So very, very matte, very thick. I'm just blending this in here. She had that chin that stuck out, so we're gonna get a little bit more highlight on here. Then I'm gonna also use our Liquid Touch foundation as well. So this is gonna be a little bit darker, and it's running a little bit low. I did my best Lucille inspired outfit today. I don't have a lot of things that are that old looking. I was trying to find a headband, but couldn't quite get that. So I'm going to try to keep the highlight on the nose there and just smooth out. You'll notice that this Liquid Touch foundation is just phenomenal at coverage. I try not to go back over the same spots as the concealer. We don't want to wipe off that product, and we also want to keep that highlight. Good. So I'm going to let that dry to a powder here. And we are going to move on to the eyebrows. Now her eyebrows are very, very arched. And it helps, this is the one time that it helps that I don't have eyebrows. I can basically make them look exactly like hers. I'm using our brow pencil in medium. So I'm kind of just gonna get my points here. So we've got here, she's got way up here and down here. So I'm just gonna kind of create those lines first to try to get that full look. And then we'll just go in and fill it in, trying to follow that. It's not going to be exact, but we want to get a little bit higher than I would normally go. The other way is to create sort of that illusion with that longer brow going down, which makes coming up that much more dramatic. She is one of the funniest people I've ever watched. And I still watch reruns all the time. She's hilarious. My favorite one is the Vita Vita Vegemin and the Grape Squishy. So many good things. And her and Ethel will just crack me up. All right, so I'm trying to keep them pretty thin and pretty light. I'm gonna use, also while this is drying, start with the eyeshadow. So I'm gonna use our palette 1 today. I'm gonna really stick in that neutral matte shade, which is the most important. So many brushes, so little time, right? So I'm gonna use the Elated, which is the most matte. If I had the newest cream shadow, that would be a phenomenal option. We have new matte shadows coming out every month, and the newest one is a very nude cream shadow. So you can see this is, you know, very minimal, just kind of covering the eye. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the color here to create sort of the illusion. A little bit of chipper, just to create that dimension. She's got this sort of, you know, dimension and depth in her eye socket. So just very lightly, remember where your hand is. You know, you don't want to be like, but just very lightly and loosely sort of create that right in the eye socket. Let's see. So very subtle, you can see a little bit more depth on that one eye. It helps to close your eyes so you can really feel where that color is going. What's really interesting is, you know, the kind of makeup and the techniques that they used back then kind of come full circle. They're very trendy now as well with the red lips and the contouring. All right, so I'm just creating that depth again, and then we are gonna go and do our eyelashes. Can't talk today. So she's got gorgeous eyelashes and gorgeous blue eyes, which I'm definitely jealous of. We're gonna start with our 3D Fiber Lash Gel Transplant. And we're gonna do a couple coats here just because she has such long, beautiful, gorgeous eyelashes. I should have curled them before, but I forgot. Just making sure you get a full coat of the gel transplant. This is what the fibers will stick to. So making sure that the eyelash is completely coated. I also like to roll my fibers just to sort of get them prepped. And then I'll lightly brush them on. Try to get full strokes and all the way to the end of the eyelashes, making sure you get the full eye. All right, so you can see that's already way more dramatic than my normal eyelashes. And again, I like to do a little jagged shake. It really separates the eyelashes, which is very important. Plus make sure to coat the entire thing. Back with the fibers again. Now remember, you want to try to keep things as clean as possible with your fibers and your mascara. You can always wipe off your wand. You don't want to get too many fibers clogged up in your tube because they will dry out. So before I set them, I'm going to use my hairdryer. So I also cool blast them so that really sets in there. Next, we are going to do a little bit of the contouring. I almost forgot my blush. So she's always got those rosy cheeks. We're going to talk a little bit about where the contouring goes. I'm going to be using the Sculpting Trio in the light shade. And finding all of my brushes here. And we're just going to work down the side of my nose here. And this is trying to create that thinner nose. So you can already see that difference. You don't want to get it into underneath your eyes. That starts to minimize the wrong places. I'm also going to do a little bit of a dab here, and I'm going to use actually my concealer brush. So it's not to be a looking like a beard, but she does have a very prominent chin. So I'm just gonna make that. Then we're gonna come in right from that ear. Think about those sucked in cheeks. And we're gonna do a tiny bit at the top here. She's got a little bit smaller of a forehead. And then we'll go and blend this in a little bit. And this is our highlighting powder. So dabbing underneath and on the top. And we already concealed that a little bit, so it's going to help to stick. A little bit on the forehead and again on the chin. So then I'm just going to use my bigger blending bud, and I'm just going to start working those lines. These tools are amazing. They're super easy to wash, and they just help distribute product a little bit easier. And then blending them together. Then we are going to use our mineral blush in Sweet. And I'm going to use our powder and sort of just blend this all together with just a big fluffy brush. All right, now I'm gonna come back, circle back, finish with our fiber lashes here. Just sealing them shut now that they've dried. And again, you can do more than one coat of these. You just keep layering until you get to that desired look. Aren't they awesome? All right, lastly, we are going to do the lips. I am going to use a couple products today. We are starting with our Precision Pencil in Primal. I'm just going to line the lips. Really get this Cupid's bow. So she has a much wider Cupid's bow. So I'm just going to drag that out a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to use our lip stain and get all of this filled in. It's kind of running a little bit low. You can always just fill in completely with the liner as well. It'll help with the staying power because these don't smudge. And then I'm just going to finish with a little bit of a gloss in our Lethal. All right, and there you have it. There is our I Love Lucy iconic red lip look. Happy 65th anniversary, I Love Lucy.